Hello everyone, welcome back to Susie Saves. I am Susie. If you're new here, hello, my name is Susie. We are a dual income household of me and my husband, and this is our Transfer Tuesday video. So, on every Tuesday, we go and we take a look at our online accounts because most of our videos here is cash stuffing and physical money, so we want to take this time to look at our retirement accounts and the money that we have saved in an online space. So we're going to go ahead and run through those today, so buckle up, and please let me know down below if you made any big money moves into any accounts today. I would love to celebrate your wins with you. So let's begin. Here we have the entire layout. If you look at the top left, you'll see the full amount is $50,949.23. This is the big Roth IRA, the one you're looking at now. It is $36,803.13. This is my Roth IRA. I opened it when I was 13. I've been putting money in it decently regularly, only maxed it out last year and then this year. I also had a 401k before that I turned into a rollover IRA and rolled over into the Roth. So that is why this is quite big. We're just going to go in what I'm invested in. I am not a financial investor, and this is not financial advice. This is just to show what I'm invested in. I think we should be way more open about money than we currently are. So just wanting to make some conversation around it and be transparent about what I'm personally invested in. So starting at the top here, we're going to go down the green highlighted column there, current value. VOO, I have 1,800 in. IVV is 3,000. I meant 18,000, pardon me. IVV is 3,000. FDKVX, this is a target date fund. It's the 2060 Freedom Fidelity Fund. That has 3,000. VOX has 2,800. VDC, 1,600. VTI, 1,600. VIG, 1,600. And then we move to individual stocks. So Tesla's at 13. NVIDIA is at 1,200. Coke is at just under 1,000. And then we have one more, the FFGCX, the Global Commodity Stock Fund there. And that is what equals that sum of money. Now, the next thing we're going to be looking at is my 401k. So we're going to kind of get close here. This is very new. We want to look at that very small number under the really big number, which is $628.07. When you put money into a 401k, normally the employer will say, if you put 2%, I'll put 2%, or if you put 5%, I'll put 5%. I have a really, really good 401k plan. I put in 10% and my employer matches, I think 8%. It's pretty close, which is a lot of money, and I'm very, very happy with it. But I just started it because I just got my new job in October. So that benefit took a little while to kick in, and now here we are. But basically, until you stay with the company for however long they have specified, the amount that the employer has put into this account, the employer can revoke, right? So we don't want to count that money in our final net worth statements, because if I lose my job, right, the employer could decide to fire me, or if I decided to leave it for whatever reason, the money that the employer has put in, they can take out. So we want to look at the vested amount and just make sure that we're on the same page with what money we would actually get at the end of the day if something were to happen. So looking really good. I'm actually quite happy with how this has been growing. I picked all my own stocks, which I would normally never do. Obviously, like the 401k plan has stocks for you to choose from, and normally I would just be like, decide a mix for me, but this time I actually went through each individual one that they had and chose like my own, which I think makes me more invested in how it does, because I want to know how it is. I didn't just blindly pick, but I'm also not an investor and I'm not a financial expert, so I don't know everything about what is good and what is bad and what certain things mean on the stock plans and stuff. So hoping this does good. I also have this set to increase, I believe. We'll see. I don't exactly remember. Part of me wants it to increase by 1% every year. because that would obviously increase my overall savings for retirement. And then part of me wants to retire early, and I could use that 1% each year in a retirement account that isn't like in a brokerage account that's not a retirement account that I could take from earlier than retirement age. So I was fighting a little bit about that before, but I think I ended up doing it just because it's a good way to make sure your investment amount is growing, and then you don't have to actually like consciously think about it. But anyway, next is the brokerage account. So this is the one I was talking about. This is our brokerage account that is not attached to a retirement account, which means that we don't have to wait until we reach a certain age to pull from this account. Currently, this account is at $5,744 and a single cent. We have $3,600 in cash, $1,500 in VOO, $300 in VTI, $200 in Nvidia, $150 in Coke, and then $30 in that Freedom Fidelity 2060 fund. We have a large amount of this money in cash because it is where we are going to hold our home down payment. So we do plan to buy a house sooner than 3 years. If it was longer than 3 years, I would probably go ahead and just invest that money. But because it is a shorter term investment, I don't think it would be a wise choice. But Fidelity did offer a good interest rate on it for this account. So we're going to be putting that money into there. I think I would like to have $80,000 in cash in this account before we went and bought a house. We would probably do that in the spring of not next year, but the year after. So we'll have to see how all of the savings things go and what we decide to do there. But this is where that money will be held, which is super interesting. So we'll see if we can do that. This week specifically, we went and we added money to this account. I added $1,000. We're trying to add about $1,000 every week for the end of the year. It will restart at the beginning of the new year because we'll be able to start filling our Roth IRAs again. We do want to fully max those out again this next year, so we'll have to bring that number down a little bit to make sure that we can fully vest into those. And then we got interest. We got $1.02 in interest there. And then we also received a dividend of $4.45. So like I was saying, I think that's pretty good. So especially with how low this account is right now. So I'm thinking that we'll go ahead and continue to use this account for our house down payment. And finally, we're going to move to my husband's work. He has a Roth IRA and a 401k. This Roth IRA was opened in April. My husband was completing school before that. So once he finished school, he got his first big boy job, and we are able to open his own Roth IRA. I would have loved to open a Roth IRA before this and put money in myself, but we were not married prior to this year. So it just happened that him getting his own job to fill the Roth and us getting married happened the same year. So this account is up to $7,271.39. I think this is super interesting because you can only contribute $7,000 for the year. So we can actually see specifically how much it has grown. So we put in $7,000. It is currently at $7,271. So clearly that $271 is just from growth for this year, which is so cool to see. It's good to know that like it's paying off. Obviously we see like the numbers rising, but it's nice to see exactly how much it is. So we're going to do the same thing with his account. We're just going to go down what we're invested in. So he's got $3,000 in VOO, $1,700 in VTI, $800 in VIG, $800 in the Freedom Fidelity Target Date Fund, $500 in Nvidia, $200 in SPY, $100 in Coke, and then $100 in VDC. So again, not financial experts, I just think it's interesting. And then last but not least, we have his 401k plan. So just like me, we are not going to look at the nice big balance of the 401k. We want to just look at his vested balance. And his employer gives us the option to see his employee contributions. So I also want to talk about this a little bit. So this year from April, he has put in his contributions. As you can see, his employer matches up to 4%. So he has put in $1,600 this year, and then the vested balance is $1,709. So he's made $109.84 on this balance this year. So good to see that we're making some progress there. That's actually a pretty hefty amount as well. So I'm really happy to see that. But yeah, so if he were to quit his job tomorrow or get fired or whatever, he would get that $1,700. So that's why it's important to look at that there. But that is it today, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I super duper appreciate it. Please let me know if you made any big money moves this week. I would love to celebrate anything with you. I think we should all band together and kind of celebrate even the little things, right? So you put an extra payment towards your credit card bill, or you saved a little bit towards a $5.29 or anything like that. But thank you all so much for being here today. I will see you tomorrow for another video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, everyone!